I am sorry I cannot show you my face. Because if I do, the bad guys will come at me. My journey started 14 years ago. I was a young reporter. I had just come out of college. Then I got a scoop. The scoop was quite a very simple story. Police officers were taking bribes from hawkers who were hawking on the streets. As a young reporter, I thought that I should do it in a different way so that it has a maximum impact, since everybody knew that was happening, and yet there was nothing that was keeping it out of the system. So I decided to go there and act as a seller. As part of selling, I was able to document the hardcore evidence. The impact was great. It was fantastic. This is what many call immersion journalism or undercover journalism. I am an undercover journalist. My journalism is hinged on 3 basic principles: naming, shaming, and jailing. Journalism is about results. It's about affecting your community or your society in the most progressive way. I have worked on this for over 14 years, and I can tell you the results are very good. One story that comes to mind in my undercover pieces is Spirit Child. It was about children who were born with deformities, and the parent felt that once they were born with those deformities, they were not good enough to live in the society, so they were given some concoction to take, and as a result, they died. So I built a prosthetic baby, and I went into the village, pretended as though this baby had been born with a deformity, and here was the guys who do the killing. They got themselves ready. In a bid to kill, I got the police on a standby, and they came that fateful morning to come and kill the child. I recall how they were seriously boiling the concoction. They put it on fire, it was boiling hot, getting ready to give to the kids. Whilst this was going on, I had alerted the police, they were on the standby. And just as the concoction was ready and they were about to give it to the kids, I phoned the police, and fortunately, they came and busted them. As I speak now, they are before the courts. Don't forget the key principles: naming, shaming, and jailing. The court process is taking place, and I'm very sure at the end of the day, we'll find them and we'll put them where they belong to. Another key story that comes to mind, which relates to this Spirit Child phenomenon, is the spell of the albino. I'm sure most of you may have heard, in Tanzania, children who are born with albinism are sometimes considered as being unfit to live in the society. Their bodies are chopped off with machetes and is supposed to be used for some concoctions or some potions for people to get money, or some many stories people say about it. It was time to go undercover again. So I went undercover as a man who was interested in this particular business, of course. Again, a prosthetic arm was built. For the first time, I filmed on hidden camera the guys who do this. And they were ready to buy the arm, and they were ready to use it to prepare those potions for people. I am glad today the Tanzanian government has taken action. But the key issue is that the Tanzanian government could have only taken action because the evidence was available. My journalism is about hardcore evidence. If I say you have stolen, I show you the evidence that you have stolen. I show you how you stole it and when or what you used what you had stolen to do. What is the essence of journalism if it doesn't benefit society? My kind of journalism is a product of my society. I know that sometimes people have their own criticisms about undercover journalism.
He brought out some money from his pocket. and put on the table that we should not be afraid. He wants to bring the cocoa and send it to Cote d'Ivoire. So with my hidden intention, I kept quiet. I didn't utter a word, but my colleagues didn't know. So after collection of the money, when he left, we were waiting for him to bring the goods. We decided, immediately he left, I told my colleagues that, since I was the leader of the group, I told my colleagues that if they come, we'll arrest them.
I don't even know the place called Bre. I've never stepped there before, so I'm surprised. You see a hand counting money just in front of me. The next moment, you see the money in my hands counting, whereas I have not come in contact with anybody. I have not done any business with anybody.
When Metro News contacted investigative reporter Anas Arimia Anas for his reaction, he just smiled and gave this video extract he did not use in the documentary recently shown on screen. The officer who earlier denied involvement picks a calculator to compute the amount of money they will charge on the cocoa to be smuggled.
This was another story on anti-corruption. And here was him denying. But you see, when you have the hardcore evidence, you are able to affect society.